evening if you're in the USA, and if you're overseas, it's already wonderful Wednesday, and Claudia and I have been warming up. There's no need to warm up Claudia. She's in Iowa in the baking heat, and I'm in Tempe, Arizona in even more extreme heat. So anyway, I'm Bruce, aka the guy in the blue shirt. My method is simpler, faster, better. And I work on process cleanup, amongst many other things, as well as, I guess, community builder, right? Based on our behind the scenes convo. All right, Claudia, say hi. And we're going to talk about the number 3, I think, a little bit, right?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are excited to dig into this conversation.
Yeah, actually, well, you kind of started it because you posted kindly for me while I've been helping my customer. So there'll be lots of C words that I use, not cussing words, but, community words. And it kind of all started off by you were saying about, can you return home? And I then realized today is actually my 3rd year of being in a residence here in Tempe, Arizona, literally to the day. And 3 years ago today, I actually, with the help of 𝐸𝒂𝒻𝐴, who the 3 of us met recently, so there's another 3. She actually got me into my first rented condo, and fast forward 3 years, exactly to the day, and I recently moved into a condo 40 yards away, so that's not another 3. It should have been 33 yards, I guess, right?
We can pretend.
But now I'm into home ownership again, which means I'm not giving away my money outside of my community. So that's good. The lighting is different. The sound is different. I'm on the 2nd floor. I mean, it's all new. So those are my first 3 numbers, and you've got some 3 numbers as well, right?
Yeah, like today is 3 years with my company. It's my company anniversary. 3 years ago, I posted on LinkedIn that I was starting a company, and here I am. So that's pretty amazing that this is all happening at the same time. And this is actually the 3rd time that I have been on your show. And
That's
when we
right.
got to meet in our Power of 3 with Tisha, we said, let's do a reunion show. And you were the first show before I even had a company that I was ever on. And you opened up the world of podcasts to me and how much I love them. And I never knew that I loved them. I don't even know if I knew what a podcast was when you asked me to do it. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. So thank you so much, because you have brought so much love to me, and I appreciate you.
Well,
Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany. All right. Yes. Welcome. So if you are listening to us lamenting around the 3s, please join us. Tell us where you're from. Join with any snippets, anything that you might like to share about the 3s, and we'll go from there. We'll bounce around a little bit.
This is pretty awesome, because we've got 2 people in the comments that I met this summer. I met Tiffany in person, and I met Michael in person about 2 weeks apart. I met Michael in Chicago at an event that I hosted, which was amazing. You're amazing, and your wife is so cool. And Tiffany and I finally got to meet when I was in Milwaukee for my 10 talk. Yay! Thank you for coming.
Yeah, see, so 3 other people, like, we had not met in person but yes, I was honored. And so what's really interesting is, you might have thought that I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing as a LinkedIn Live host. That's why I invited really cool guests to join me, because then I didn't have to do too much work, right?
Well, who knew that I was such a talker? Well, I knew, but I didn't know I was such a talker in this way, that podcasting would become like my most favorite thing ever.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when we sat down, and by the way, Tisha, you and I, we actually met at a restaurant, local brewery called Fate, and it is spelled Fate. And there were lots of puns and innuendos around, fateful meetings, fateful conversations, and it's kind of interesting, because if you just follow your intuition, like I didn't know you really from other than following what you were posting on LinkedIn, but my intuition said, you know what, I think this is a cool up and coming high potential leader. Let me ask her, and there we go. So And then we've done some firsts as well. So it was your first time guesting. It's actually 3 years later and 3 live streams later. It's the first live stream from my new place on the 2nd floor. I won't show you it because it's kind of not organized, which I hate.
Embrace the change.
Oh boy, have I had to embrace the change. Many changes, but you know what? It's kind of like spring cleaning. You know, I decluttered when I moved from Southern California 3 years ago, and even moving 40 yards, literally, it's 40 yards and lots of little wagons. There was stuff. It's like, I never used this. And there's actually a dumpster on the way past onto my pathway. So I stopped a lot at the dumpster and just chucked stuff. And it feels so healthy.
Oh, I love decluttering. I do it like every 2 months. I just don't like to have things in disarray. And a lot of times I'm like, I didn't even know I had this. What am I doing with this? It's just taking up space. And when you declutter, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, digitally, you're making room for new. So by decluttering things, you're actually creating more space within yourself. So do it. It's so good for you.
Another C word, cluttering, you see. So community.
We're keeping tabs.
Maybe we should create a new hashtag, Club Claudia.
I like that. Yeah. And you were the first person to ever teach me about hashtags on LinkedIn and creating my own, which did happen. It's Connect with Claudia, which lines up all your posts together, which, you know, I had zero knowledge of technology and all things social media. And so that was a huge help. And so now all my stuff's right there. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of, you know, people like tease me. I guess I'm an extreme when it comes to simpler, faster, better, but I really do live it as much as I can. And you know, every process can be cleaned up. You might think you have the squeakiest, cleanest process, but there's some wiggle room to do something. And you know, moving is a great example. I mean, you know, I thought I was in pretty good shape, but actually I wasn't. You know, a lot of clutter, a lot of wasted stuff, a lot of keeping stuff cool that I didn't need to keep cool, which is a, you know, an expensive hobby here in Tempe, Arizona.
No kidding. Well, I think that process of cleaning up also brings forth collaboration because you're getting ideas from other people. There's another C word for you. When you're bringing ideas together, you have this great idea, this great plan. It's working for you, but it can always be a little bit better. And when you have people in your community who will go, hey, if you do it this way, or if you connect with this person,
right,
and it opens up even more for you. I'm very grateful for collaborations in my community because, you know, there's a lot of things that I don't know. And I've learned a lot of things. And there's things that I can't say that I'm bad at anymore because I'm not, because I've learned. But having the help from all of my people has been amazing.
Yeah. So it's, you know, I call that, as you heard me say, my Jive Hive, and those Jive Hivers like Tisha Marie, yourself, and a handful of others. I mean, they're precious. I mean, they are so precious to me, and I do whatever I can do to maintain that relationship because and the conversation. So, you know, that's the other piece. You know, people will quickly say LinkedIn doesn't work, but I'm a process guy, so I have to figure out a process to make it work for me. And my last name's Carnohan, so that's another C. So the Carnohan connectivity had to make sense in my brain. So you know, I developed this thing. You know, you start a conversation, and that conversation can either be productive or unproductive, and that's okay. But conversation for me started in comments because a lot of people don't realize this, but behaviorally I'm introverted, even though I appear, and I'm trained to appear extrovertedly when I host things like, you know, LinkedIn Locals, or what will be renamed a bunch of other C's. I'm going to be calling it Community Cafe. So LinkedIn Local Community Cafe. So
love that.
Yes, I've been playing around with it for a little bit, and that's what I'll be inviting Frank to. So we were just talking about that behind the scenes before we had to go live. So So Frank is a connection of Claudia's who she met, and he announced in the comments through conversation. So all those sees that he comes to Phoenix area on a monthly basis. So I'm going to try and collaborate and make my community cafe, my LinkedIn community cafe, be on a date that he can come and enjoy the fun.
Oh, you will love Frank. He's amazing. I did his show a couple of months ago, and yeah, he has a lot of great questions and a lot of wisdom, and he has served us all very well. So I'm very excited for you guys to meet. It'll be fabulous.
Good. See, so I would never have known unless we'd commented on your post and got that conversation going with somebody brand new. And so what happens there is you build this community, right? You build a community of like-minded or sometimes not so like-minded, and those are still communities. They may not be just fun. But what happens in there is that when you know you're in the right community, or the Jive Hive, as I call it, that's when collaborations really occur. And the cool thing with that is, and another C word is, it allows you to actually choose who you want to collaborate with, because you've got all this collateral, another C word. You've got all this collateral of either conversations or knowledge or things that you've learned about those people, or they've learned about you in a very subtle way. So it allows you, it allows you to make
collaborations that end up coming from that deep connection. And when you meet people, especially in person, there's something that happens in that energy, and you're all coming together and you're having fun. And like, I had met 𝐡𝐭 and Frank at the same event in February. Wasn't this year, it was last year. And we have become such great friends. And now, 𝐡𝐭 and I hosted this event in Chicago, another C word. And that's where we met Michael. And we invited all the people that we knew that were in the area. And it turned out to be this huge event. We were going to have it from 4 to 7. The last people left at almost 1 a.m. If that tells you how I can turn it up and have a good time. But
so nothing to do with the champagne?
I mean, there was some bubbles for sure. For sure, there was bubbles. But we were laughing and we were talking, and there were tears. There was deep vulnerability happening in this room of a lot of strangers. Yeah. And that just shows you that power that can happen when you connect on that level of, I feel good, I feel comfortable here, I feel like these are my people, and I can share with them.
Yeah, and the net impact is that it's very calming, right? Even though it's exciting, it's sort of a very calming excitement, which is really hard to define, and it's almost like really relaxing, even though it's high energy. So it's kind of the reverse. So particularly as a behavioral introvert, the one thing that I have to guard against is energy zappers, right? I mean, those people, right?
I do know those people.
Zappers and tappers, and like, where did they come from? And it's like they suddenly plug you in and you're on draft all of a sudden. It's like, come on, like, give me a break, right?
Yeah.
But anyway.
I always love being on your show because we are always laughing about something, and that makes me so happy. But I do know what you mean. Energy vampires for me are negative people, because I'm very positive, very optimistic, and my energy gets bigger and better the more excited I get, which is fantastic. But when I have somebody who tries to bring down my jam, I'm like, pass. No.
Yeah, and it's funny. So if you don't believe in meeting people you're connected with, go meet people. And I have a great example, and I know Dr. Alexander Roth. So I had to go on a customer thing. It was a little bit out of her way, and I said, hey, Dr. Alex, I'm going to be here. What do you think? She helped me choose the hotel because she had the local knowledge. She had to work all day, and she drove all the way. And and we went, we wanted to do something light, but it was a little later, so I don't like to eat too late. So we went to a Steak and Shake, right?
Okay.
I have not been to a Steak and Shake since I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, hey, Dr. Alex, there's a Steak and Shake right in the corner. She said, let's do it. So
I love it. I love it.
So she was better than me. I had the steak and the shake, but anyway, but what was really cool is that she also got to show me her new business, which is her mobile IV giving complex vitamins, and I took the B shot. And so she had all of her stuff, and we went back to where I was staying, and she set up the IV and pumped me up with all this B fulfilling B complex. And in that 45 minutes, you know, I couldn't use a device. She couldn't use a device. And we had a 45-minute deep conversation with no distractions. I mean, how many times does that ever happen, right? And it was amazing because I was listening to her about, you know, where she's come from to where she's going, and also where she's gotten to. And it's just staggering to see, you know, it's the second time I've met her in person, and the difference is, I mean, it's like night and day. I mean, she is just so confident and eloquent and calm, and it's like, really, I mean, it's just amazing. So yeah, please, even if you find one person, wherever you go, just find one LinkedIn person that you can meet with. You will be amazed at the compounding, the compounding impact that will have for you longer term. So
absolutely. These are lifelong connections. And many of these people I do consider friends, and they're the people who I've been looking for my whole life. Like, they just immediately get you, and it's wonderful. And it's interesting because, especially if you share a lot of content on social media, and it's personal, and it's vulnerable and deep in nature, and that's how people are connecting to you. They're connecting to your story. When they know your story and you know theirs, there's something magical that happens.
Yep.
Because you immediately have an unwavering support and a huge push of empowerment, because these people are cheering you on, because they know that you've been through the mud. You know you've been through the mud, and you've been your own best cheerleader to pull yourself out and to get there. But when other people have connected to you from your story, you connected through that pain, that's a bond that is unbreakable.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, you know, you alluded to it. When I used to do meetings before I used the power of LinkedIn, and particularly live streaming, you know, I always used to have to think about, you know, as an introvert, you know, like, what's my icebreaker going to be? And the cool thing is I never have to think about icebreakers anymore, because you see the person, and you already know so much about them, and then it's the human connection, right? It's then just and ultimately, you know, it's the hugs. I mean, what a great way to get a supportive hug is from somebody that you've chatted to for a lot, or even a little bit. It doesn't matter. So
yeah, it took us forever to meet in person. I told you it would happen. Now, when I say something, when I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I just didn't know when, but that was a magical hug. And I really was just like, you just kind of melt into it, because it's like, I've known you forever, and we've like virtually hugged forever, but now that energy is in the same place, and it's just like, I came home.
Yeah. And then of course we had the brilliant 𝐸𝐶 Marie to, you know, complement both of our overexcitable energies at that point.
I love her. I knew that I would love her. I knew from her energy on LinkedIn and all the fun things, but it's probably a good thing that we don't live that close to each other, because we would never get anything done, ever. She is a blast. If you're not connected with her, please connect with her. She is an incredible human.
Yeah. Or if you want to come, she's actually hosting for her 45th birthday. She's hosting another bowling event, and it's going to be on September 16th in her local community, which she does a lot of community activities to help support different initiatives. So yeah, so we're all going bowling, particularly the non-bowlers. The non-bowlers, I think, have more time than the bowlers that want to like compete. Another C. We just go to crash and, you know, just
have fun.
Be goofy.
Yeah. I'm not the greatest bowler of all time, I can tell you that, but I do have fun whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. So if you're watching this either live, say hello. If you're watching it as replay and you know somebody in the Phoenix East Valley cities, which are Phoenix, Tempe, Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, and I should remember Mesa. There we go. Tisha's holding a extravaganza. It's a couple hours bowling in one of her local communities, and we'll be supporting one of her causes. And more importantly, it's her 45th birthday. So
yay! Happy birthday!
I know. She doesn't look it. That's the other thing. It's like, girl, you're like 30.
That's the goal, okay? Like, no one wants to look their age. They just want to look good. Like, that's how it feels. Coming from
I won't go there. I won't go there. Between the age psyche between, all the gals that I learned from my sisters and guys. But hey, gray is that in-between place, right?
I mean, I happen to like gray.
Yeah.
The color behind me is gray. Do you remember the first live? This was an amazing and terrible experience at the same time, because my room used to be cobalt blue, which was great for our show, but it made me look like Casper. And I did not understand lighting at that point. But what did that do? Me being me, that launched me into a study of lighting. And I studied luminaries. Who studies luminaries? I do, because I wanted to know how to make it right. The solution was to paint the wall. That was the solution, and it changed everything, which was great. But I knew people on LinkedIn that had done tons and tons of podcasts. And what did I do? I reached out to them. I go, what do you know about luminaries? What are you using? And they're like, what are you talking about, Claudia? And I go, am I the only one that thinks this is a thing? Like, forget it. I'm on my own. And I studied it. There's all kinds of different things that have to do with luminaries and lighting. So look into it. It's fascinating.
Look into luminaries. Claudia will set you right. Yeah.
Well, the one thing about me is if I don't know something, I'm going to find out. So
you are a little intensive that way. I will give you that.
Like I've been not called intense before.
I think I made it intensive. I made it more. No, but in a beautiful way. And hey, thanks for wearing the polka dots. They're fun.
Fun and playful.
I know, the black and white. I had to be in boring blue for my brand color, but hey.
Well, the red.
Got the red.
I was going to put red on, but I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to be a little bit more, fun tonight. Let's put on some polka dots and not be so bold.
Yeah. So thanks for people that have commented. If you are watching live, Claudia and I don't know you're there unless you say something. So even if you say boo or hi or question mark or send a smiley face, it doesn't matter. Just let us know you're there. And if you don't want your name shown, you can change your settings to be LinkedIn user. So it's okay. Under visibility, it's hidden invisibility, but you can do that on live streams. You can
I love it.
Anonymous if you wish.
But I like to know who you are, just so you know.
Me too. It's how you build that, that next level of connection through that conversation by going back also and commenting once this goes to replay, All right. So any other threes?
I'm sure there's something out there. Well, you talked about the 9s with the 27.
Correct. Oh, yes. So actually it's Q3 of 2024. So Q3 comes to an end at the end of September. And I know you're doing something pretty cool in Canada, another C. So tell us about that.
Yes, October 19th, I will be in Toronto. Very excited to meet up with all my LinkedIn connections, but I will be speaking at the the Young Professionals Summit. It's going to be super exciting, and everyone should come. I cannot even imagine the talent that's going to be speaking on the stage.
I know.
Panels, lots of wisdom, and definitely it'll be a blast. So please.
I know, and I'm so jealous you get to meet with Chantel in person, another C. So you're going to have to maybe you can FaceTime me or something from there.
Yeah, definitely. Chantal's doing a conference as well the same day. I saw that she's on a panel, but I'm definitely going to meet with her at some point.
Okay.
And a ton of other people. So I'm going to be in Toronto, letting everyone know if you want to hang out, you know how to find me.
And it's October. Yeah. Oh, hey. Oh, Jen. Jen.
Genergy vibes in the building.
Genergy. Right?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Love her.
Yes. So it's October 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. that's the day I'm flying back from Singapore, when I will be actually getting a haircut from BB in Singapore.
I
Another
love
LinkedIn.
I love that. You definitely are going to have to live stream that because that's an experience that I think
We'll,
everyone should see.
we'll see. Actually, BB's a little shy sometimes. So sometimes I've tagged her before and she'd say, please don't tag me.
Understand.
That's all right. But
Everybody has what they like, and that's totally fine.
yeah, but she has a really cool hair couture styling business in Chinatown in Singapore. And so she actually helped me figure out where I should stay, which is going to allow me to safely walk around and enjoy the real kind of spirit of Singapore from a Western point of view without being at risk. And it'll be pretty close to her salon. So, as and when she'll get time, then we'll do stuff. And as and when she's busy working, then I'll do my own thing. So we'll see.
I love a good exploration trip. That's so fun.
I know. Goes with my 2024 word, to explore. That was my power word this year. Explore or exploration.
I love that. And goes with my 2024 word was believe, or is believe, since we're still in 2024, which is crazy fast. And that word has helped me several times this year go, you got this. Move forward. 'Cause I did a lot of new things this year, and I was definitely challenged by doing them. Another C word. And by going back into my word and saying believe.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how we press that self-destruct button? It's like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like there's something weird planned into our DNA that we all do. And being able to stand above that. And so mine is not really believe, my statement, which is I choose, another C word, but I choose to live life young daily. And people might say, oh, well, that's just a thing, or that's just a saying, Bruce. But when you actually choose to live, so that's the first thing you choose, I'm going to live, but then you take life and you do live life young daily, then it really changes your thought processes, and it really changes your attitude to people that want to live life not young and not daily. So
you know what? People are going to have things to say about whatever floats your boat, right? They're going to be able, that's not really going to work, or I'm not doing that. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But this is my journey. This works for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do me, and I'm going to live my life. So you can come along for the ride. It's not for you. It's not for you. And that's fine. But I'm not going to shoot you down, because I'm not going to shoot me down.
Yeah. Or, you don't have to jump onto my coattail, right? Another C. What is it with all these C's?
I had no idea this is where this was going to go, which is why I love it so much. But it's working, so let's keep going with it.
So you know what is interesting, though, is the worst believers is your family. And I find that, and as hard as that is, and for people that might be going through this, particularly if you're about to start up or you're thinking about starting up, and, Claudia is a great example, and I am too. Neither of us really knew what we were doing 3 years ago, but we ventured into it. We had a lot of belief. We had a lot of passion around doing what we believe was right for us. And families will never jump on board. Well, I shouldn't say never. Rarely families jump on board. They're full of a lot of free advice to get you not to go there.
You're not wrong about that. I call it derailment.
Derailment, right? Or in my case, not to even live in the USA. And here I am 30 years later. Oh, another 3. 30 years of being in the USA on August the 13th. How about that? Another
That's incredible.
3.
That's incredible.
So 3s and C's. What is it with 3s and C's?
Power 3. Jen put cheers in the comments, so there's another one of my favorite C's. And celebration would probably be the other one, because I love to celebrate.
No, really? So I think the quote was, when we sat down with Tisha, you and I, after our happy glad and a lot of excitement, looked at the menu, and I think the quote was something like, do they have any bubbles? Something like that, right?
Well, okay. So if you don't know me, I love bubbles. That's my thing. That's my drink
I
of
didn't
choice.
know that at the time. Otherwise, I
It,
would have gone
it is
somewhere
my
else.
favorite. No, I mean, I like, all kinds of things, but we were at a brewery. And when I
We
looked
were.
at the menu, but I really felt like bubbles, I was like, do they have any bubbles? And they did. So it worked out. Like, it was totally fine. If they didn't, I would have found something. I can be adaptable. Right.
So it was coincidental.
Absolutely.
No, is karma? No, karma's K, right? Okay. Yeah. Close. We could respell it with a C, but anyway.
It probably is somewhere.
Yeah. In somebody's language, I'm sure it's spelled with a C, right? Anyway, so yes, it was. So that was something I immediately learned about you that I didn't know unless you come all the way to meet us. So yeah.
Claudia loves my favorite quotes that I actually wrote myself was be the bubbles in someone's champagne, because that's a great thing to be, because you're bubbles and fun and enjoying it, and to be that encouragement and happiness for someone else.
Right.
That's where that came from.
Well, you know what chips are, right? In England.
Yeah.
They're French fries. So there's a really crude saying that a lot of people, and I'm glad I'm not there anymore, but they always used to find great, I don't know, joy or something in pissing in my chips.
What?
Right? It's like, not doing that.
Mean?
But it's very graphical, and you get the real sense of emotion. That it's like, leave me alone. Like,
yeah, you're ruining it for me.
In my chips.
Yeah, raining on your parade.
Yeah,
I like doing your chips a little bit better. That really seals it up.
It's a little cruder, but it's a lot more exacting in terms of the emotion, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's a culmination, another C. Here we go.
There we go. We're on a roll now. I love it.
Yeah, culmination of a crescendo, right? Of how the emotions can inadvertently change somebody's pathway, either good or bad, right? So
true. Well, an emotion spinning around in your head, which is something that we were talking about before we went live, is one of the questions I ask myself when I can't get out of my head is, why is this bothering me so much? Yeah. And when I stop worrying about it or being bothered by it, and I actually go into that question, it either, one, gets me out of my head because I'm into that question now, or two, it helps me really realize where it came from. There's a root cause to everything, and usually there's something that happened along the way that's sending me back to that moment because of of what's happening.
So you say it's causal?
I mean, it can be, for sure.
Another C, causal.
Yeah.
Creatively causal.
Colossal would be a better word.
Or colossally causal.
Exactly.
Or simpler word, crappy, right? Just crappy, right?
Or critic. We can be our own worst critic.
Oh, don't. Yeah, the critic. I've not had to deal with him, but I think you know this story that people think I'm a little loony, but it's okay. So my negative voice, he's called Chipmunk Charlie, and he's really high pitched, like and he's like between my ears, and he's that inner critic. And whenever it's like and it's like, he drives me absolutely freaking insane. So, but my calm guy, my more professional guy, is Alexander. So Alexander has to like go do whack-a-mole on Chipmunk Charlie, and that's how I kind of get out of that inner head shift or head space that is like, and it's like, and I think everyone can hear it they're between their own ears. It may not sound like that, but when you really stop and calm down, and like you said, what's making you feel or react that way to what you're stressing about, then that's that negative critical voice will go on a unbelievable march through your head and destroy everything that's positive. So,
well, and you have the power to make that switch. You can turn it off and say no. You can fight back. You can talk back to it and say, I'm not doing this. I don't hear mine as much anymore because I really do practice a lot of self-doubt erasing. That's one of the things I'm known for, because I'm not listening to that garbage. That's not going to get me where I want to go.
Right.
When I listen to other people, even their own negative self-talk, or when they call other people names, like just in conversation, And I hear that and I'm like, I don't talk to myself that way. You shouldn't talk to yourself that way. You shouldn't talk to somebody else that way either.
Yeah.
It's not really good.
And actually, my strategy with Alexander is I used to have to get him to like beat up Chipmunk Charlie, but now I just invite him to take Chipmunk Charlie on a vacation. And that usually, number one, it lasts longer. And number two, it's more subtle. It's not as negative as, beating the crap out of Chipmunk Charlie. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, hey, we all have our things. We all have a way to navigate our own negative self-talk because everyone has some. It's just when you give into that negative self-talk, that's when you start losing your power. That's when you start shutting yourself down. That's when you really go into those tailspins. But when you say, no, I don't need to hear that. I'm not doing that. You can be quiet. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. I know. Why are we wired like that? That's what I don't figure. That's what I can't figure out. Why are we wired like yin and yang?
Most of the time, it is not actually our voice that we're hearing. It's something or someone that we grew up with. Most of the time, it happens from our childhood. It's someone's voice that we hear that was critical or criticizing us. And it's usually someone that we loved or respected. And that's why it's stuck. And so whenever those things pop up, that voice that you're hearing is actually theirs.
Yeah, that's true. So true. But we won't go down that deep volcanic hole.
Not today.
Not today, baby. Otherwise, you will definitely have 3 in a row. You'll get me to cry, which I've said we're not doing that on this live.
I mean, I told you I couldn't promise anything. I just say things, and that's what happens. But you're among friends, so be as vulnerable as you choose.
But hey, it's always easy doing that with you. And again, since the power of meeting, when you do meet somebody, you gain a completely different perspective and, retrospective as well, because you always think about those meetings and what was said and how it felt. And So if you're not out there, if you really want to make a big difference using the LinkedIn tools, meet as many people in person in as many cities, towns, villages, tents, wherever it might be. Just go find people that you might want to jive with and go just say hello. Just set something up. It doesn't have to be something too formal. I mean, I've done pop-up things where I've said, hey, I'm going to be at this place at this time and come if you want and don't come if you can't. And amazing things have happened sometimes.
Yeah. So. I feel very fortunate because everyone in the comments I have actually met in person and some people multiple times. So thank you for that. That's a gift right there.
It is. And that's also a challenge for me. Now I got to go meet all these people that I haven't met.
I mean, I'm always up for meeting more people, so let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, I know. After the end of this year, I'm going to be when my strategy all plays out, I'm going to have more flexibility to go do that again. So yeah, I love to roll around the community. Tiffany's laughing with hearts too. So where's Tiffany based? Do you remember?
Madison.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Love Wisconsin.
Well, great in the summer. No? So Madison, Wisconsin. I was near there earlier this year. I'm trying to think when and exactly where. Anyway, so yes.
Okay, well, Madison's only like 2.5 hours from me, so.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe it has to be a 2025 springtime drive,
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. Well, I did Brighton, Michigan for so this is how important, a Jive Hive and good connections are. Tisha Marie Pelletier set up to meet with a group in Brighton, Michigan, and literally a few days before we were going together, she got COVID. So I went. I still went, and we went and did the thing. It was obviously not as much fun without Tisha, and then what we did is we FaceTime. She had COVID and she was all croaky and all that, but at least we FaceTime. And what was interesting is we met a couple there, Brad and Maria, and we'd known them offline. And so Brad recently lost Maria, and so that was a reconnection. And so, you know, you just never know how important those chance meetings are going to be. And so, yeah, shout out to Brad because he's dealing with it really well. And, you know, just another shout out to the importance of that deep connection, you know, when you'll go above and beyond for people that you feel that you really jive with and really connected to. And what a great way to choose who you spend your time with, right?
Absolutely. I love that. I love all these people. I can't be more grateful for everyone that I've been able to meet through this connection of this magical place called the internet, which is incredible that I never thought this was going to be real. I thought, you know, this is where all the lurkers hang out, and no, thank you. I don't want to deal with any of that. But these people have made a huge impact in my life.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of support and just admiration is unbelievable. So I am grateful.
Yep. Well, with putting bubbles in other people's champagne, you are a perfect role model for that. And yeah, I would say if you've got belief issues or self-doubt issues, Claudia is your coach for sure. Another C. Coach Claudia, another C. No, Claudia is the real deal. And the reason she's the real deal is she's lived from where she was to where she is today. And so, you know, you can't beat real life, hands-on, you know, experience. And again, for me, that's why I'm blessed that, you know, I get to service one main customer at the main time. But the reason for that is, you know, they bought my experience. They didn't buy the blue shirt. They didn't buy the accent. They bought my experience. And, you know, I was talking to my mentor the other day, and he's saying, like, you know, you're doing this, this, and this. And I said to him, but hey, that's what you hired me to do, right? And he said, yeah, it was. And I said, well, I'm just delivering what you hired me to do.
Exactly.
And what a concept, right? What a simple concept. Why not deliver what somebody hires you to do? Or why not deliver what you promise somebody you're going to do?
Doesn't seem like that difficult of a job, but we make everything complicated. We love to make things complicated.
Another C word, complexity. Yeah, complexity will take the charisma, another C, out of everything. It becomes less than charming when you make things too complicated, for sure.
Well,
but
when
no, it was
then you lose your flow, which then lose the actual energy that brought you to the situation anyway, and you get roadblocks. Right. And they're not roadblocks that were put up there to teach you something. They're roadblocks that you were putting upon yourself.
Yeah. And it's great you say that, because I got to collaborate with Charlene, another C, earlier this year at the Eyewear Art Walk. And I'm going to do a little self-plug, but when I was asked to talk at that, I was talking to eye care professionals, and I thought, you know, what the heck can I talk about other than my special eye condition? But so I came up with her help with this little tagline that says, you know, in a sea of friction, swim like a dolphin.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Yeah. So that's the tagline to my if anyone ever wants me to talk to groups that I may not know anything about, you know, flow is the same, and friction is the same. It doesn't matter what group, company, family, industry you're in. And if you don't get things to flow, you will never make them simpler, faster, better. If you don't understand what's stopping you from flowing, then you'll never be able to clean up your process. So moving from that. And we all know what friction feels, sounds, and it's just yucky, right? It's just like, bleh. I mean, we all know that friction is distasteful. It's hard work. It bugs the shit out of you. It's like, I mean, it really is. And yet when you can go from friction to flow, it's like, it's like a breath of fresh.
Absolutely. It's like this breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, this is what it feels like to not be chained or bound. Like, it actually literally feels liberating.
Freeing. would be my word. Freeing. Free up the flow so that you can go wherever you will go, right?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do that. All right. So what do you got coming up? Because my goodness, we've been barking on for 45 minutes.
I mean, we act like we're the only people in the room, right? So the next up for me is the Young Professionals Summit in Toronto on October 19th. And definitely I will be in Toronto to hopefully see some of my other LinkedIn meetups. Definitely if you are in Toronto, let me know so I can get you on my list of people to see while I'm there. But get your tickets to awesome.
Yeah, or anywhere easily commutable. You cut out right at the end, so you have to repeat your last sentence.
Oh, I don't actually remember what I just said. I think it was come to the Young Professionals Youth Leadership Summit in Toronto. It's going to
be or somewhere close by. I mean, a lot of people don't mind traveling. They travel pretty far in Canada because there aren't that many bigger cities like here in the USA. So yeah, so Claudia will be a great person, and remember, the secret to her heart is bubbles.
I don't know if that's the secret.
Okay, a pathway to your heart.
Pathway would probably be better. But I actually like all bubbles, so if that.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, we can't talk about your secrets, not on there. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a different show.
Okay. We'll make that a 4th rendition then. We'll make that Q4.
That'll be the reunion show. There we go. All right.
The reunion. All right. 2024 reunion show. End of the year, towards the holidays, and we can compare notes about what we've been doing in Q4. How about that?
Ooh, sounds like a plan.
All right, so I'm going to do some shameless little outtakes. I know you've seen these before, but it helps me to help remind people what I'm all about. So I think you remember I'm a lover of Devin James. I don't mean in a professional way, before anyone says, oh my God, I didn't know he was gay, but no, I'm not. So here we go. Devin James.
You're frustrated that you have no time and you just hate it. You lost your mind. You're running around the kids and the spouse, and the business that was once your passion has got you burnt out. So consult with Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt. He'll help you find the truth so that you can do you first. See, it's all about simpler, faster, better, so you can save massive amounts of time and money instead of longing for the day where you can finally kick your feet up. Do yourself a favor. Call up Bruce. He'll tell you about process cleanup.
Hey, he took one of your lines so that you can do you.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. All right. And then fast forward with the collaboration with my activities in the Omniverse City. So I don't know if you've seen this one or not, but this is more for fun to go with your polka dots. So I'll be naughty and play 2 outtakes. Here we go. We ended up creating 3 spaces, which people are going to be able to see. And we ended up with spaces called connect and shop and play.
You don't want to miss out, that's all I'm gonna say. The right place, the right time, the right tech. In the Omniverse is where I place my bet.
Connect and shop and play.
Imagine having Google stocks back in the day when you got up on the ground floor. Pennies to the dollar, this is opportunity calling, so you better yell holla.
Dropping some beats, Bruce. I like it.
Who would have thought that a 6-decader would rap, right?
Hey, anything's possible.
I didn't do it. Devin did it. So.
Yeah, you did a great job.
But it's a great example. If you find the right people to collaborate with, they always put out a message way, way stronger than you can ever think of yourself. So, and he was fast as well. A couple of outtakes. And I mean, we did one recording, but he then mixed it a couple of times, and that was it. It was done. So yeah.
Fantastic.
So if you ever want, when you're ready with yours, or if you ever want a brand story told, Devin James is a brand story maestro. He is really good, really clever. So
Wonderful. I love
and he
it.
lives in Portland, and he likes to go on the river. So if you're in the Portland area and you want to meet Devin, just let me know and I'll introduce you. So
Okay.
anyway, you and anyone else watching live or replay. So all right. So final thoughts.
This was amazing. I'm very happy that we finally got to come back for our Power of Three, because it was definitely all about the timing. So everybody, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for celebrating with us. This has been a magical night. Thank you.
Yeah. And finally, lastly, thank you for the comments. Boom. Because comments will lead to conversation that will lead to building a community that will allow you to collaborate with who you choose, not who you have to.
Correct.
Correct. Boom. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.